I am Karen, Selina N. I'm a production designer. Honestly, I did it once, kind of by accident, because no one else is filling the role, and then people were like, you seem to have the artistic skill behind it, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then I didn't expect to like it, but I absolutely loved it. And there were people on that crew who were working DPs and union DPs, and they saw the set and they didn't believe it was my first time production designing, so they were like, you should do this because this is really good, especially if it's your first time. And so they're like, if you get training and everything, you're gonna be even better. So then I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, and I took a really hard turn because I was gonna do something initially in post, and then I just took a huge pivot into production design, and I have not regretted it, like, for a second. I think that the Toronto film industry is booming right now, and this is the best time to be in film. And so it's the time. It's actually, honestly, we don't have enough people in film now, which is insane because before you would have trouble finding jobs, but now it's like there's jobs everywhere and you can find it. And yeah, as long as you make sure you're at your best shape. For a while I was thinking about joining the GGC for production design, but now I'm starting to rethink it. I kind of bounce back and forth because I've been really enjoying freelancing this past year. I was like so set on applying for DGC, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait until maybe the next one is October, and I don't even know if that comes around if I'll actually end up doing it, because you have a lot of freedom as a freelancer. You have a lot of control with your budget as opposed to like union. First of all, it takes so long to get to a key creative role in the union because there's a lot of bureaucracy and there's a lot of politics in the union. So it's definitely something that I'm rethinking for now. And I think as long as my opportunities keep coming as a freelancer, I think I'll be okay. It's really important to make sure you have the skills for it, because it's called art production for a reason. It's because you have to have a lot of fine art skills. So I think it's not the end of the world if you don't have it at the start, but it's definitely something you should finesse over the years and make sure, you practice your drawing, you practice your painting, because you're gonna do a lot of it. And yeah, I think that's always the best. And honestly, even me as a production designer, as soon as I see someone with fine art skills, I'm immediately like, I want you on my team. The struggle is balance, honestly, is because I think that in this industry especially, there's a hustle culture, which is, I understand you always have to work hard, but there's a point where you cannot burn yourself out, because if you hustle so much, you can balance 10 sets, and then you burn out for a year because of it, it's really it's not beneficial. And I also think that if you hustle to a point where you can't balance all the sets you're doing, you're gonna do a mediocre job on all of the sets, rather than if you had honed in on one, you would have done a phenomenal job, and that would have opened way more doors than if you had done a bajillion of them. And you always think that when you say no, people are gonna forget about you or your opportunities are gonna disappear, but really if you say no to projects and you take the ones that are important, it's gonna make you do the best in your career and take the next step for your career. Your opportunities don't go away, they'll just change, but they'll change in the ways that you want if you're picky and if you choose correctly. It's not as glamorous as you think. You understand why it's glamorous, but there's always a lot of hard work and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that come from everyone to make that film happen. And it's definitely, I think a lot of people, they saunter in thinking, oh, you get pampered, but you get really burnt out in certain ways. So not as glamorous as you think, but the payoff is really good.